Hi, I'm Simon Rushton and this is Taxi Chronicles podcast. On this podcast, we spontaneously interview unsuspecting passengers with their permission, allowing them to share their intimate life stories and concerns. As our slogan states, real riders, real stories. Some riders prefer to be anonymous, while others ask me to tell their story later on. Either way, there are all genuine 5 to 10 minutes stories, so sit back and enjoy this episode.
Good night. Yes, it's Simon. We're back and it's Friday night. We've got Andrew in the car.
Hello.
He's a professional dancer and he's going to tell us all about his dance industry, how he got into it, what motivates him, and the major changes that have occurred for him since this whole COVID thing. So over to you, Andrew.
Yeah, so I suppose I got into musical theatre quite early on because my mum was a music teacher and she used to do like the musicals in her school, and my first interaction with musical theatre would be going over to see them and like begging her to bring me to the rehearsals with her when I was probably like 5 or 6. So then like went to stage school as I was growing up, during secondary school, all that. Did dance competitions, trained all the time, and then auditioned for various colleges in London and moved over here after school and trained for 3 years in Bird College out in Sidcup in southeast London. And then it all kind of kicked off from there.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So what would you say you've learned that you wish you knew at the start over your extensive career?
Not to care, just go for it. Like, I think everyone is kind of ooh-hoo, like, especially in college, like, everyone was worried about what everyone else thought, but like then you leave in 3 years and no one, like, it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just kind of, you just kind of need to go with what you want to do.
Yeah.
And just trust your gut.
You have one life, live it to the full.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Would you, what kind of functions or festivals? Obviously you're in the dance. What kind of shows have you done? That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, so like I guess you kind of have to do a bit of everything, like singing, acting, dancing. So I came out of college and my first job was an acting job and a commercial for 3 Mobile.
Okay.
Then I moved to Cyprus for a year and worked as a singer and a dancer over there. Then I did a few commercial things. I was a backing dancer on Britain's Got Talent for a season. So it kind of takes you everywhere. Before Corona started, I was about to start rehearsals for a cruise ship. So there's so many different aspects of it that you can be taken.
What was the Britain's Got Talent show like? We've interviewed somebody about X Factor, she was on X Factor show.
Yeah.
What was the Britain's Got Talent like?
Great, like very fast paced. Like you go in and like you're in this massive studio, this massive stadium. Everything's go. I suppose it was different because I wasn't like a contestant or anything on it. We were just there to do a job and be dancers. So you were to support? Yeah, to support the acts.
Okay, support the acts.
Some of them, yeah.
Okay. And who were you supporting? Anybody famous?
Oh, I'm trying to think. We've danced, Stavros Flatley.
Okay.
Because it was Britain's Got Talent, the champion, so it was the ones that had been in it in previous seasons, and then they brought back all the ones that had like got really far but hadn't actually won. And we did a lot of like the opening and closing numbers and things like that.
So your dancing style, what is it? Is it like ballroom kind of, or?
Probably more like music. What you'd see in a musical, kind of musical theatre-y.
Oh, like Billy. What's that song? Billy with he had a broken leg or something.
Billy with a broken leg.
No, there's Billy. Billy the play. They had a play with him dance.
Billy Elliot.
Yes,
yeah.
Billy.
So that's like what?
Is that what you would do?
That's what I love to do. Yeah.
Okay.
But saying that, you kind of have to be able to do whatever you're asked to do.
Okay, and what would that be?
It could be ballet, it could be tap, it could be like commercial, what you'd see in a music video. It could be ballroom. You could go into an audition and they could ask you to do some salsa.
Okay.
And just teach it to you and pick it up on the spot.
Oh, okay, so you've got to have a natural rhythmic kind of jive.
Yeah, I guess so. You have
body.
to have that ability to be able to like pick things up.
Can you do that? Can you just string on things?
Yeah, I guess that's what you kind of. That's what
makes...
you learn along the way. Yeah.
Okay. Did you find that hard? That ability?
I guess it's weird because it's not something you like specifically learn. You just kind of pick it up along the way. When say like, because a lot of people that go into musical theatre and dance and train have been doing it since they're like, since they can remember. So it's not anything. It's just something they've always done.
Okay. All right, that's good. So what do you see the future for you?
Oh, like very uncertain at the moment, because even like the West End is obviously closed still, and like shows are now starting to announce like that they're not going to open till next March.
Okay.
So I don't think anyone knows what way it's going to go really. I think people are trying to be optimistic, and that's great, but personally I'm kind of trying to be more realistic. So I'm going to go back and study for a bit in uni.
Was that going to be a year or two?
Just a year.
Oh,
just doing a postgrad for a year, till hopefully things kind of settle down and get back to some bit of normality.
Is that like open university kind of thing?
No, so I'm going back to Ireland to actually go to uni and study for the year.
Okay. Have you been in Ireland lately? What's the situation with the whole distancing?
when everything happened, I was supposed to start rehearsals for a cruise ship. That didn't happen. Went back to Ireland, worked in a supermarket for 3.5 months. And I think they're much more cautious, a lot of people over in Ireland. Like a lot more measures in, like say, for instance, like all the supermarkets, there's someone like at the door and you have to sanitize your hands. You cannot go in unless you sanitize your hands. And I presume have a mask on now. I left before the wearing masks in public became mandatory, but yeah, I think people are a lot more cautious, but then you obviously get the people as well that think it's a myth.
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. We experience all types.
Yeah.
In a taxi.
Yeah, you must see a lot of stories.
Put your mask on. Don't do this. Don't touch that. Wipe down the handles, everything. And you got people like, I couldn't give up my
I think that's the funniest thing about like trying to judge how people are going to be.
Yeah.
Even like meeting friends that I'm not seeing in like 3 or 4 months, I'm like, do I give you a
give
hug?
them a
Do
hug?
I not give you a hug?
Yeah.
Like,
it's like that awkward moment in the movie when you're not sure, when they're not sure, like.
Yeah, exactly.
In that kind of thing.
I think it's just all getting used to it, really, isn't it?
So going back to the Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah.
I don't really know too much about the shows, but I know what the lady who was on the X Factor was talking about. Obviously, you're a different angle. You weren't going for. You were just supporting them.
Yeah, I guess you hear a lot of stories about people being like pigeonholed and they having to do what they want you to do and things like that. So I guess
is that the case on the Britain's Got Talent? And is Britain's Got Talent something to do with Simon Cowell? Is it not?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's his show as well.
Yeah, it was his show.
So
so
he's got 2
it
shows.
was like him.
He's got a lot of money, hasn't he?
Yeah, he was rolling in it.
Yeah.
Maybe he could give us a hand with coronavirus.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was on it, he was judging, Amanda Holden.
Is he a fair man, would you say? He doesn't look too happy.
He doesn't look too happy. He's obviously a very smart man, so he knows what he's doing. I think, yeah, to some people it seems that he's been really good to them.
Oh, is it?
But
okay.
I guess you probably get both ends of the stick, don't you?
Did you? So you saw that literally yourself?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of. Okay. Did you ever meet Simon?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not like up close and personal. We did meet Amanda though. She was so lovely.
Okay. That's good. That's good. So, what's the impact you want to have on the world?
Oh, that's a good one. God, I don't know. I guess. What would that be?
All right. While you're thinking about that,
Yeah.
give us what is there any time where it's just been a nightmare in your industry for you? It's just been like you looked at it and just thought, gee, I don't know how I'm going to get over this, or they're asking too much, or anything like that.
Right now, at the moment, like, if we go back, like, what, 4 or 5 months, I had an agent. I was about to start a great contract on a cruise ship. Then cruise got cancelled. Moved home. So imagine moving from London to a little country town back in Ireland, working in a supermarket. Then my agent goes out of business because of coronavirus. So I guess now is a bit of a moment where I'm like, oh, do I stick with it or do I pack it in and call it a day? But I think I don't think anyone that works in the performing arts industry would ever we wouldn't just pack it in, because if that was the case, we wouldn't have started in day one, because it's not an easy career to choose.
Okay, that's good. That's interesting. Okay, so back to the other question: impact on the world.
Impact on the world.
You could look at it like, what's the ultimate goal you want to give? Look at it like that.
I guess to leave something behind, to have an impact that someone's gonna think about when I'm not around anymore. Do you know what I mean? That kind of a way.
But think about what kind of legacy in that world.
Legacy in the world. Oh, God. I mean, dreamy would be to have a legacy and say, oh, that was Andrew Farrell, he used to be in the West End, like,
he made his
kind
mark.
of way, he made his mark in the West End. Oh,
Okay.
You never saw a role played like that.
Okay.
But I guess we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
No, but it's your really
time
truly
to
that
tell.
question's in relation to your impact, is your ultimate goal. Because if you know your ultimate goal, then you kind of know the right decisions to make to get to it. But you seem a very determined person. The fact that you're willing to go back and work in the supermarkets, and then you're improvising with your education, which is really great.
No point messing about. Do you know what I mean? I feel you can't wait if you wait for things to happen, yeah, great, they might happen, but you never know. So it's just like, you've got to make the best of a bad situation and go around and change it the way that you want it to be, kind of.
Okay, I understand. But thanks for that interview.
That's been great.
It's much appreciated.
Thanks for having us.
And have a nice day. Or night.
We hope you liked that episode. Keeping in mind, we never know who we're going to interview. We post twice a day, 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. GMT. Have you ever considered the future economies to invest in? Why not listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories? Considering Africa has the fastest growing economies and population on Earth, and has done for many years, it holds 30% of the world's known natural resources. We publish twice a week, Tuesday with a guest investor, and Fridays talking about investment, politics and history, providing a clear understanding for any potential investor.